Whoa. I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Asmongold, that's my guy. We can't ban him. There's no way he said or did what he said he did, right?
If you want to consider it as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a river when people who have that's baked into their laws are getting I don't give a They're terrible people.
I mean, if you think about it, how wrong is he truly? You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I've been told since I was a little kid growing up in the US. Everything that he says is the truth. He's not lying, right? I mean, like, let's take a look at this, okay? Let's put our seriousness caps on. Okay, so the Quran, it allows wars of conquest and genocide. Oh, wait, that's the Torah. There's endorsements of violence. Oh, wait, that's the Bible. I mean, to be fair, it's also in the Quran, you know? At least the 3 books have that in common. Okay, how about this? Death penalty for adultery? No, that's the Torah. Capital punishment for adultery? That's the Bible. Okay. They condemn homosexuality. Oh, wait, that's the 3 of them again. Women are seen as... Oh, okay. So women are seen as less than... Oh, wait, that's all 3 books again. Both the Quran and the Torah are okay with polygamy. I mean, I guess as long as it's for the guys, right? Guys can marry a lot of girls. Girls have to marry one. And you know what they say. God forbid a woman cheats. I guess we gotta stone her to death. Yeah, that's pretty much in accordance to all 3 of the books. Purity laws for women. Yep, again, that's all 3 of the books. Religious hierarchy. Yeah, all 3 of them have religious hierarchy. I feel like that's enough to really get my point across. I personally believe that religion is a cancer and it negatively impacts, you know, our experience here as human beings overall. I think there's a lot of really bad messaging in all 3 of these books that I mentioned, and I mentioned these in particular because of, you know, 3 main books. All that to say, even though I feel this way towards religion, I understand that for a lot of people religion is a necessity. It gives them a reason to want to continue on a day-to-day basis, pretty much. So I mean, I would never ostracize someone for their religious beliefs. Obviously there is extremes in every single one of these situations, and that's really what I'm opposed to, because as we have evolved as human beings, a lot of the things in all of these books have become no longer socially acceptable. How else am I supposed to feel when roughly 40 to 50% of all wars that have ever happened have used religion in one shape or form to allow the atrocities that come with war, or to convince the public that it's something that is actually good? Obviously, what Asmongold said is incredibly insensitive. It also shows how we can be blinded by our own point of view. I've always been of the belief that if you need these books and that's what you need to be a good person, then you are not a good person. Everybody is capable of doing evil, and sometimes to preserve good you need to do evil stuff. But in my opinion, good falls under what brings the most amount of people the most amount of joy. Trying to create a world where everybody is happy. Whether that's possible or not, we don't know, because the only way we would know is if we tried everything. Going back to the whole Asmongold thing, I remember seeing him several years ago, because believe it or not, I have been a part of the internet brain rot for years, and I have gone through phases in my life where I enjoyed his content, mainly because he was a lot more apolitical in the past. But I feel as though in the past few years his political takes have definitely gotten worse, and I think that that is all reflected in the condition of his house, how unkempt he no longer looks after his physical appearance. So for me, the worst times of my life when I've been going through the most depression is usually the moments when my room and my house just become a hogsty. Is that what it's called? Hogsty? The times when I've been the most depressed is when my house and my room are at its dirtiest. I just lack the motivation to be able to clean them up, and I always make excuses as to why everything is so messy. And I'm sure a lot of you have at some point related to that feeling, because let's be honest, we're all a bunch of anxious messes at the end of the day. the internet has done this to us, as well as our childhood traumas have made us the people that we are today. So I'm sure you all relate with being in that situation where just everything just seems beyond your control. Everything seems unfixable. And as it's gotten worse, I've become more and more concerned for his mental being as a whole, isolating himself a lot more. I mean, it's not hard to fall into that circle of hate and vitriol. I see myself as a person who is constantly striving to become better, and I'm not perfect. I'm not infallible. I make mistakes. I make poor decisions, as we all do. That's part of the human experience. But I try to grow and learn from every single thing that happens to me. And as a part of that, I've developed, like, I don't know if you could call it the ability to be able to relate to other people, you know, empathy. I've developed empathy. Yo guys, new empathy just dropped. And the reason I mentioned that is, like, just earlier, as I was doing research as to like everything that happened, I hopped on Twitter, and within the span of a couple of minutes, I was just like angry, like at a bunch of other people. It did such a good job at otherizing other people. This is alarming because I'm a person who tries to catch those things and tries not to let those things get to them, tries to see the whole picture. So the further he gets like isolated, the more he is on Reddit, the more he's on X, that obviously is having a negative impact on him. There was concern, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. Let's be honest. It's not surprising that he said the things that he said. Does that make these things correct? No. And we would leave it at that if he didn't have such a large audience. As some of you may have seen, he came out with an apology, apologizing for the words that he said, saying that the way that he phrased it was too much of a blanket term, and it included a lot of people that did not deserve it, and that it was mainly targeted towards religious extremes. But never does he acknowledge that other religions also have this issue. Believe it or not, like the Torah and the Quran have a lot of similarities, but for some reason the ones that are otherized are the Palestinians, a group of people who don't even have their own standing military. So he came out and he apologized, and in his video he speaks a lot about how in his mind words don't mean anything. You can apologize, but as long as there's no action to go behind those words don't mean anything. I completely agree. There's no bigger show of you meaning what you're saying than by showing it through action. So he says that in an attempt to seek penance, he's gonna go visit the Middle East to be able to actually get his eyes on the culture and the religion in of itself, basically get himself out of the ignorant state that he's currently in, that he's gonna work at cleaning his house. And now, if you guys don't know who the f this guy is, if this is the first time somehow of you hearing about Asmongold, this is a man who can easily be described as someone who is rot maxing. There's trash all around his house. He has admitted to using a dead rat as an alarm clock because at a certain point in the day, the sun would hit the rat and make it smell extra stinky, and in his mind that was time. It's time for me to get up. Which, if you think about how crazy that is, can you imagine having a live rat in your room just like wandering around, let alone a dead one? That is insane. Not to mention there was at least one clip where a cockroach got on him and he just like scooped it up normally. Like it was, you know, it's just another thing. It's just another one of those days. So in his attempt to make penance, he said he's gonna clean his house. As far as his Twitter shows, he has started to clean, so hopefully he does make improvements. Now, if you're worried that this is going to change your favorite creator's content, you should be very happy because he's still going to make our favorites, DEI content we've all grown to love, we've all grown to adore, so you don't have to worry about it. Obviously, this is still concerning because I guess he's making an improvement, but a lot of his mindset is still in the wrong place. But like I always say, a lot of my ideology goes behind the idea that people are capable of growth and they're capable of bettering themselves. And although there is still a lot of negative, there is a sign of a positive, and it's all about baby steps. I want you to think about it like this. What does he actually stand to gain for the apology? I mean, people that already didn't like him aren't gonna like him. And if his subreddit is a sign of anything, you'll be able to see that the people that already watch him are so extremely right-wing adjacent, or just right-wing in general, that if you sit down and take off your conspiracy hat for a second and actually analyze the situation, there is a lot less that he stands to gain and more that he stands to lose from apologizing. And if you look at the apology, sure, a lot of the wording is maybe incorrect, but you can't expect that someone goes from saying the horrendous things that he said and overnight become a champion for the left. That is not going to happen. It's a journey that's going to take some time. Growth doesn't happen from one day to another. Now, obviously, is there a possibility that this is all just to save face? Of course. But like, bro, like, we're not going to get anywhere if we don't, I guess you could say, have faith. The irony of saying having faith when I pretty much expressed my disinterest for religion earlier. We can't do this every time something like this happens. We should encourage growth rather than reprimanding people because they're not changing enough. Even my own journey to get to the point where I've gone today, so many things have had to happen. I've had to pretty much reinvent myself multiple times. I've had to get myself out of a really chronic depression, and it still comes creeping back every once in a while. I had to go through what I now see as a very bad and toxic relationship. There was just so many things that had to happen for me to get to the point where I'm currently at, and I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences. So why do we always do this? Why would it work? Why would villainizing someone who has already begun that journey, why would we ostracize them and attack them instead of encouraging growth? Instead of being hateful, we should be more encouraging. We should reach out more with a kind heart. We should reach out to these people and support them, because that's really what they need. They need support. They're in a bad place in their life. Anybody can end up in this place. Me, you. If it hasn't happened, it's just because the situation hasn't pushed us to it. If you think about it, that path works both ways. Just how you could have learned to become more accepting, there are situations and conditions that can make you revert. So let's stop doing this where we continue to push out people for making mistakes. Let's recognize that people are not infallible. We're not gods. We're not deities. We're not all knowing or all powerful. We all have flaws. And how about we look at the overall positive? We look at the intent of what people meant to do. And when people try to make changes, we reach out to them and not push them away. Because all that does is push them deeper into the thoughts that they already had, and it makes the situation worse. That being said, it looks like Asmongold is going through his Muslim arc. I can't remember who said it. Osmongold. Let's go, baby. I really hope that this is a waking call for Asmongold to like improve. Believe it or not, even though politically we stand on very different positions, I would like nothing more than to see this man happy. And just looking at his life, that doesn't feel like living. You're not taking care of yourself. There's blood from your gums sprayed on your walls because you're not taking care of yourself. I'm concerned, bro. I don't know you, but I don't feel like I need to. I feel as though we don't need that connection to be able to care for our fellow human. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't think it is. I think we're all perfectly capable of compassion and empathy, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight, unfortunately, but we have to be able to back each other up and nurture each other and help each other grow. Otherwise, nothing is ever going to improve. Do what you can. That's all I'm saying. And try to be more optimistic. I know we get burnt all the time, so maybe that's not the easiest thing to do. But you know, what's the alternative? Pushing those people further into their hole? Come on. We're better than this. We're the woke mafia. Come on, guys. We're better than this. We're the people sending hurricanes to Florida. Come on. If anybody can do this, it's us. The people who have dominated and control the weather now. But that being said, like, what do you guys think? I know this is like a much more serious topic, but I feel like y'all are smart people. And maybe we have like disagreements here or there. But I think as long as we keep the mindset of wanting to just like help others, eventually we'll end up in the same place one way or another. What do you guys think of everything that he said? Are you still an Asmongold fan if you were been watching him up to this point? How did this make you feel? Do you guys think it's a facade? Do you guys think he meant it? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff if you enjoyed the video. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.